Hi, my name is Pierre Kattar and I'm an independent video journalist and filmmaker. I'm reporting on water scarcity and lack of infrastructure in Nepal. I first became interested in water scarcity when I visited Kathmandu one year, and a colleague of mine took me to Bhaktapur, kind of an ancient city. And they had a very big well in the main square, and when I looked down at the well, I saw people getting water from the well. To my Western eyes, this looked very romantic and cool, and my Nepali colleagues immediately corrected me, saying, this is actually quite a big problem for us. We have to buy water almost every day and lug it to our homes, and I was kind of, flabbergasted because they were my colleagues, they were my equals, and I'd never even had to think about buying water to bathe with. It turns out that less than 50% of households in Kathmandu have access to piped water. I wanted to find a visual way to tell the story of water, so the first thing that I found was these water delivery people delivering jugs of water throughout the city. He earns a living by delivering water to homes, hotels, and restaurants near his shop. While I was filming the story of the water delivery man, I read in the Himalayan Times that there was a hepatitis E outbreak in Biratnagar in the eastern part of Nepal. And I had never heard of hepatitis E. So I was curious and I looked it up, and it turns out that, thousands of people were becoming infected with hepatitis E. I decided to go there the next day, and I went with my translator and colleague Rajneesh Bhandari. As soon as we arrived in Biratnagar, we went to a hospital and asked the doctors to show us the patients with hepatitis E. And they showed us one patient, Sarita Murmur. Sarita Murmur was 5 months pregnant when she got the virus. She lost her baby and ended up here.
Yeah, she's very serious because she needs ICU bed. But here we have only 5-bedded ICU.
Viral outbreaks like these are nothing new in Nepal. Every year, diseases like cholera, typhoid, and dysentery. It turns out that there was a crack in the city's water supply, and sewage seeped into the water pipes and contaminated the public water. So anyone drinking public water risked getting infected with hepatitis E. Broke during construction. Sewage from the ground seeped in, infecting over 7,000 people. Only about 1 to 2% of people die from hepatitis E. But that number shoots up to 25% for pregnant women like Sarita. It wasn't easy to film that scene. That was one of the hardest shoots that I've ever had to do in my 15 years as a video journalist. Someone's dying in front of you, and their family is desperate, and you wonder, can I help? Should I help? Should I put my camera down? It turns out that 20 million people contract hepatitis E around the world every year. Recent earthquakes have displaced thousands of people. Many are still living in crowded tent camps with poor sanitation. As I was working on editing and producing these stories, the earthquakes hit Nepal. All of a sudden, the story about the delivery waterman didn't seem so relevant. So I had to scramble to find a new story. So I immediately called Rajneesh Bhandari, my colleague in Nepal, who helped me on the ground while I was there. Since I wasn't there anymore, I was back in Washington, D.C., I kind of asked him if he could help out. So Rajneesh, would you like to describe what happened on your end?
One day Pierre called me and he told me that would you be interested to do a story about the earthquake. I decided to go to Gorkha. First 5 hours of the journey was okay, the roads were okay, but the next 4 hours were very difficult. There were terrible roads, and I could see landslides on both sides of the roads. And many times my vehicle could not make the way because of the condition of the road. When I reached Gorkha, especially Bar Park, I could see many houses were destroyed. Everyone was trying to work on the remains of the houses, trying to find out anything is left in the houses. I met Bal Gurung, and he told me that his 5 members of his family were suffering from diarrhea because they were not boiling the water and drinking it. So I followed Bal Gurung and his family, thinking that's the best story to tell from Gorkha, because we're looking for a health angle for that story. In the evening, Pierre called me and told me that NPR is interested in a different angle of the story, the resilience angle.
Bal Gurung is trying to rebuild his life. He lives in Barpak, a remote village that was at the epicenter of the earthquake in April. He's looking to salvage building material from his old home.
And I thought Bal Gurung is a perfect choice for this story because he was trying to reveal his house and reveal his future. 5 months after the earthquake, Nepalese are still living in tents in open space. And the sad thing is that the whole rebuilding process is overshadowed by the political chaos in Kathmandu. And right now, the winter is around the corner. It will be very difficult for them to live in open tents because it will be very cold. The road ahead for many Nepalese is very difficult.